you, Chairman Graham. I'm pleased to associate myself with your remarks, and I'm honored to serve with you as co-chairman of this joint effort. Looking back at the innocent lives lost and the damage inflicted by a fanatical band of suicidal extremists has been very painful for all of us. We all experienced that just a week ago with the remembrances of 9/11, and I think it's fair to say that every American is incensed. We need to understand the hows and the whys of what happened to bring some comfort to those who are still grieving, and there are many, and to ensure the well-being of Americans at home and abroad as we go about our lives today and tomorrow in the globe as it exists. And I want to thank Ms. Breitweiser and Mr. Bush for being with us today and sharing with others, and I know there are others in the audience who are with them. You put a human face on the tragedy that we all feel. The people whose lives were unfairly ripped from them is way down deep what drives this committee to follow the facts to find the truth, and you should know that. Your contribution today, representing so many who have lost so much, reminds us how the impact of September 11th is very profound and very personal across our land, and in fact, around the world. Providing your thoughtful, specific suggestions for what we can do better and asking penetrating questions is a help to us, and I know your testimony has questions and suggestions. I suppose everybody has a tragic story about pain and suffering related to September 11th. Mine is about Cece Lyles. A flight attendant on Flight 93, Cece was a resident of Fort Myers, Florida, in my district. She was a former police patrol officer and detective, and she spent 6 years risking her life to protect others in that job. In December 2000, mindful of her young children and looking for a less dangerous and wearing career, although I'm not sure that was a way to characterize flight attendant work, she enrolled in a flight attendant school and began flying for United out of Newark. At 9:58 on September 11, 2001, Cece called her husband, Lorne, a police officer in Fort Myers, from the plane to tell him that her flight had been hijacked. Her words, "I called to tell you I love you. Tell the kids I love them." Her last words that we know of were, "I think they're going to do it. They're forcing their way into the cockpit." And then the call broke off. We here owe a particular debt of gratitude to Cece Lyle and her companions on Flight 93, which was heading towards Washington when it crashed in Shanksville. The President of the United States has told us intelligence is the first line of defense. We know that he's right. We know the first line of defense has to be strong. These hearings will hopefully lead us to capabilities that better fit the threat as it does exist today and make our first line of defense stronger, which obviously it must be. We've already started this process in the oversight committees of intelligence, and I want to compliment all the members of the committees, particularly Representatives Saxby Chambliss and Jane Harman, for the excellent report their subcommittee on terrorism has already provided us on the House side. It's been a useful building block to help our joint committee staff, a group I would describe as small in number but dynamic in impact. Under the leadership of Eleanor Hill, they have interviewed a multitude of people, as the chairman has said, read thousands of documents, and asked a great many questions, always with a steady hand of the members and the staffs of the House and Senate Intelligence Committees to back them up. What this all means is that we have well over 100 professionals and some 37 members dealing with mountains of information. And these mountains are getting bigger every day. Every time we track down another terrorist cell, conduct another raid through interrogation or documentation exploitation and other leads, we find out more about the enemy and, of course, how to stop them. There will be further chapters as the war on terrorism unfolds. We will incorporate as many as we can in our final report of this joint effort. And I predict there will be plenty of work for the other standing committees of jurisdiction in Congress because our primary focus has been intelligence, and there has been more than just intelligence involved in this situation. What forms further investigations take, we'll leave to the future and concentrate now on finishing our work as completely, as accurately, and expeditiously as possible. The terrorist threat remains high. I want to emphasize that it is precisely because we want to save lives in the future that we must be careful how we present and discuss this information in public. It's true, it may be axiomatic, the enemy is listening to us today. We must protect our sources and methods, and we must not reveal any of our plans and intentions to our enemies, those who would harm us. So today we begin the process of open hearings with the understanding not everything can be discussed in this forum as much as we would like to share it with America, but that much can and should be explained to our nation, which is our goal, and we will go as far as we can. Having said that, Mr. Chairman, I thank you and look forward to the testimony of our